But when it comes to living your best life, patience really is a virtue. It's a virtue. Patience paid off for Joseph. Let me tell you a little bit about his story for a moment. He's 17 when he receives a dream from God that he's going to be a ruler one day. His brothers put him in a pit and sell him into slavery. He ends up in Potiphar's house where he's a servant. He does the best he can at being a servant. He's falsely accused by Potiphar's wife and put in prison. He's in prison. We don't know exactly how long he was in prison, but from the time he receives his dream until the time he ultimately comes out of prison, becomes the prime minister of Egypt, 13 years passed. 13 years. From 17 to 30, all of that stuff was happening in Joseph's life. And Joseph had to wait and wait and wait and wait. 13 long years. Isn't it interesting how God works with a timetable very different from ours? God spoke to Abraham when he was 75 and said, you're going to have a son. The son didn't arrive until he was almost 100. God spoke to Moses. He was going to be the deliverer of his people, and Moses didn't even start his ministry until he was 80. Does that make you feel any better? Okay. Jesus himself, the Son of God, came to earth, and for the first 30 years of his life, we know very little about what he did. We know about him as a 12-year-old boy in the temple and when he was born, but we know very little about the life of Jesus until he was baptized in the River Jordan when he was 30 years of age, and then he has about 3 years of ministry. So 30 years of preparation for 3 years of ministry. See, we flip that around. Give me 3 years of training, I want 30 years of ministry. No, with God, it's 30 years of training, 3 years of ministry. Why? Because God doesn't count like we count, okay? God has a different calendar than we have. And with God, patience pays in our life. It works something in us that can only be worked over a period of time.